Now take your ass upstairs and go to sleep, and don't start that crying before I give your ass something to cry for.
Welcome back, everybody, to the War Report. I'm your host, Murjani, and of course, I'm always joined by my esteemed colleague, Cyrus. Cyrus, what's going on? How you feeling on this? Well, for me, cloudy Friday, but
Uh, Let me look outside. Same deal. I can hear the rain, cloudy. Uh, but I'm not outside, so I think I'm okay. I'm doing good. It's been a nice week of wrestling. Just a lot of stuff going on.
as it always is, I feel. There's a lot of stuff going on in signings also. I've been pointing I've been pointing to one particular signing for quite some time, but it finally came to fruition. As we jump in a really quick in the trenches segment at this point,
hmm
Killer Cross and Tim Thatcher they have both signed WWE, and presumably Tim Thatcher will be going to NXT UK, join his court, maybe join his cohort Walter, as Walter immediately tweeted out. And Killer Cross, maybe going to NXT. Yeah, maybe going to NXT. I know there was like some.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I know a lot of people are just like, oh, like Tim Thatcher, yeah, straight to Walter, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. I think since he already has Imperium, you know, they're kind of just, well, they're well established now, ever since Worlds Collide. So I don't know if he's going to be joining, because I think a fifth member might be too much. Because there's never usually like five people in a faction unless you're whatever the hell they decide to call Seth Rollins' group. But I'm extremely excited that he signed. Um, Tim Thatcher, no wins in Bloodsport, but you know what? He is still a very amazing talent, in my opinion. Um, I know a lot of people are sad that he might. Well, he's going to be in NXT UK. I know a lot of people are mad about that, but I can't wait to see whatever match he's eventually going to have at Worlds Collide, or like a UK, like a NXT UK takeover. So I'm gonna keep. We said we're gonna watch more NXT UK more, and Timothy Thatcher is definitely a talent that that would get me to watch.
Um, I think NXT UK needed somebody big. They needed
Mm-hmm.
another figurehead other than, because I know they're trying to push Ilya Dragunov. Of course, they have Tyler Bate and Walter, but they needed another big guy, and Tim Thatcher is a big get, especially because he stayed indie for so long. Had
Mm-hmm.
offers from a lot of people, and uh, they finally got him. Uh, Killer Cross. I mean, this guy can wrestle. This guy's got the look. This guy is great on the mic. He has great promos. Uh, Paul's gonna love him, and NXT. If he does uh, go straight there and not go to like the main roster, I think
Mm-hmm.
another big signing for them. Because I know
Yeah.
ALW was after them, and ALW could have used him more,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to
um,
Paul and Vince, they always get the man that they want.
Money talks. That's all I gotta say. Nobody forced your favorite wrestler to sign on that dotted line. The paper talked to him. Um, Killer Cross, another amazing talent. I think he is 0-1 in Bloodsport. Sorry, that's all the knowledge I pretty much have. Like, I know these two from Bloodsport. Um, but yeah, Killer Cross, amazing talent. He really impressed me when I saw him against Davey Boy Smith Jr. at Bloodsport. Really amazing talent. I've yet to hear any of his promos or see his work in Impact. I know people are. I've seen people, oh, he's gonna it's all fun and games until he ends up like EC3 or Eric Young and stuff like that, and it's just like whatever. There's a major upside to having Killer Cross on your on the roster. Um, you know, in the main, mid card title feuds and all that stuff. I think there's more to an upside than him than EC3 and Eric Young. No diss to Eric Young. So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with Killer Cross, especially since they've been having like a lot of Hoss matches on NXT.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would put him in the realm of like an Eric Younger and EC3. I think he is NXT champion like caliber guy. Like this guy can move. Like I've watched him in AAA. I've watched him in Impact matches. Like he's pretty much like the prototype that like Paul in NXT would want, or maybe Heyman in Raw. I think he's definitely a future champion. If not NXT champion, he's definitely a future Raw champion too. So we'll definitely see. Like this was big double get for both of them. So going into, we got NXT as we barrel down to Portland. It's in a week. Coming down the bend, of course. You had Charlotte Flair and Rhea. Rhea showed up on Raw this week to seemingly challenge Charlotte Flair. Then Charlotte Flair comes back to her old stomping grounds of Full Sail. And she had a little bit of trouble, not only with Rhea, but with Bianca Belair, because, Bianca's like, well, don't forget about me, because Rhea has a title match in a week against Bianca. And then Charlotte came and seemingly disrespected Bianca and promptly got beat up by both of them. So, two questions going into this. How do you feel... basically them teasing Charlotte and Rhea, and do you feel that there's a possible triple threat match, which I've seen hinted, that it could be Charlotte, Rhea, and Bianca, maybe at WrestleMania?
So we talked about it last week, just like the possibility of Charlotte and Rhea Ripley even happening, and I like a lot of people, I do find it weird that the Royal Rumble winner decides to go for, not a main roster title or, just an opponent. Like, at this point, I think it's less about, the title and it's more about Charlotte's pride, because Rhea did pin her during the build to Survivor Series. But I don't know. This is it's a little funny to me. Charlotte hasn't made her decision yet, but I think they're just letting like people know that the NXT title is an option, and I think that is really great for NXT in general. I know a lot of people are kind of upset that they're doing whatever they can to really get NXT over, but whatever. It's the third brand. Shut up. But a possible triple threat. Rhea Ripley does not have her eyes on the prize in Bianca, so not really focusing Bianca might be her downfall. She might have pinned Charlotte Flair before, but that was in a triple threat. And I don't know, you turn your back on Bianca Belair, and then you never know, she might be your NXT Women's Champion, and then we might get the triple threat. I wouldn't hate it. I need to hear that theme at Mania.
Listen, if you didn't think that Charlotte Flair was going to have a major title match in some way going into a WrestleMania, you're crazy. She is seemingly Mrs. WrestleMania. I didn't really have a problem with it as I thought it would, because NXT has been getting built up as this major third brand and not really developmental anymore, especially if you look at War Games and what Adam Cole and Rhea did Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're on equal footing. So, if with Charlotte, if you don't want to see her going against Bayley again, if you don't want to see her going against Becky again, and have like a fresh matchup, uh, I like this, especially because Io's hurt. Bianca, to me, Bianca doesn't need to win. She doesn't need a NXT Women's title reign. She is already super. She's already super over. What she needs is a major feud either on Raw or SmackDown. She's more than ready.
Yeah.
I think that it was a really cool wrinkle that NXT united against, I guess, an Invader and Charlotte here, and I like that.
That was really great.
I like that, Bianca, that interaction between Charlotte and Bianca, because I think that is presumably if Charlotte accepts the challenge and she beats Rhea, you could have Bianca and Charlotte. I would be really psyched to see
No,
that feud.
now this is where we have an issue. If Charlotte does win this NXT championship, there's there's just gonna be some issues like with feuds and stuff. Like, is she gonna run through NXT? Like, who dethrones Charlotte after she wins the title?
I mean, if Charlotte is, I don't. She's not going to lose it. Charlotte always has she's been losing, and then she wins the big Royal Rumble. She wins when it counts in big matches. So, I don't think so. I mean, if I just don't see.
Like, I don't see Charlotte
well, as
losing
composed,
ever.
as composed, I do not see Charlotte losing. Like, I just don't see it. So maybe you do have a little like reign with NXT and Charlotte. But NXT is the third brand, so.
I know, but like, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of great talent, like women talent on Raw, and I think Charlotte having the NXT Women's title won't. Like, you might as well just throw it back on Shayna Baszler, you know? But that sounds great. Yeah, Shayna Baszler versus Charlotte. Shit, let Shayna choke her ass out. That sounds fantastic.
There's a lot of match combinations you can have, and they would be fresh because like you can't have like Charlotte versus Natalya again. Charlotte versus Asuka again. You know what I mean? Like, and she's fought everybody on SmackDown too, so like, give her fresh matchups.
Yeah, I would have no issue with if it all led back to Charlotte versus Shayna Baszler. I think a lot of people would be mad, but I would love to see the match. And on the other hand, if they do go with the triple threat, I think that would stack the odds against Charlotte because Bianca's strong as hell, and Rhea's also strong as hell. So them powering up against Charlotte, I think they would be on equal footing. It's just like Charlotte is sort of like a big boss kind of character, so it's just like I don't see her losing that title match if it happens, and I think that's a shame to Rhea.
Hey, the Queen always gets her penance when the time happens.
Yeah.
Moving on, we had Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor do a promo. To you, was it effective? I think a particular line in the Gargano Balor promo was effective to me, at least. I thought it was pretty funny, but
was it the Bobby losing the Bobby Lashley line?
Yes, it was.
That shit don't mean nothing to me because when he turned up as the demon, it was kind of over for Lashley. So
he did lose to Lashley a lot, though.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. What wasn't too effective for me? I don't know. It was a little weird.
I'm already sold on the match. Like,
I'm already sold.
Like, I'm already in. So, like, there's nothing more that these two men could do uh, to get me hyped. Just, have this match in the ring. And we finally, with Gargano getting hurt and having that long layoff, and then Balor kind of going to Matt Riddle and, like, little feuds. Like, I'm finally ready to see it next Sunday. Like, it's like, all right, cool. Like, it's finally here.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole, the Gargano, like, show me your heart, show me who's the person, blah, 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 NXT, this and that. I was just like, all right, whatever, man. Like, give me the match. I don't really need a.
It's a typical Johnny Gargano promo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't usually like the typical Gargano promo.
Moving on, we look like that we have we're gonna have Dominic Dijakovic versus Keith Lee at Takeover. A wild Killian Dane appeared, and he probably got beat by Dijakovic. How do you feel? How do you feel that we're getting Dijakovic and Lee again at Takeover?
We already seen this match a lot, but I think it being for the title, they might just go like crazier than usual. So, PWG NXT once once that match starts up. So, I say we've seen it like a bunch, but I'm still excited for the match, and I think they might try like a lot of new stuff. But we're gonna see a lot of old stuff, which is a shame. But it should be a really good match. Like they can't do no wrong. So I think it's okay.
I just don't know what more they could do in the ring. Like, I don't know what more, like, I'm pretty sure they have something. Like, they have something tucked away in the chamber. But, like, of course I want to see this match again. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, man, like, what more athletic shit can both of these men do?
Okay, so J5 sent me their match at PWG in December that I watched, and what they have tucked away is a match with a lot of no selling, and I think that's how they're gonna make this this match possibly like the most amazing thing that we probably will ever see in the series between them. But if it's not gonna be like that PWG match, then I don't know. I don't know what they can do, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about that match. I'm pretty sure that the internet would go ablaze if they did a whole bunch of no selling.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it more next week when we do our predictions for NXT Portland, but they gotta have something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen this match a lot, and they gotta have a variety of something. Unless somebody tries to, unless they, they introduce other people, like maybe, Damian Priest and Killian Dane again. I doubt it, but
I don't know. This is why I think Damian Priest should have won. It would have been a fresh match, and they could have went back to this for the Mania takeover, and it would have been a barn burner, like off rip, and I don't know. I think they could have just held off on this.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, our new Cruiserweight champion, Jordan Devlin, made his debut to Full Sail. Had it's a 15-minute match against Tyler Breeze. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Poor Tyler Breeze, though. You know what I mean? He just kind of rolling in the weeds since Fandango got hurt. But it was a good showing for Jordan Devlin. What do you think about Jordan's debut at Full Sail?
Got a really good match against somebody excuse me. Really good match against somebody that's like, a well-established superstar in Tyler Breeze. Unfortunately, him and Fandango are hurt. I think they would have probably did some amazing stuff with the young guys in a Dusty Classic, but just a really good match here. I wonder, what's going to be like his actual kind of title feud with the belt, because Andrew Garza says he wants the NXT championship, cruiserweight championship back, but he's on Raw now, which is pretty cool, amazing. DDTing people on the pavement, all that. So I don't really know what they do next. I would love to see Leo Rush back into the fold. So
yeah,
hopefully that's in his future.
He's got a wealth of guys. Devlin could go against Garza. He could go against Isaiah Swerve Scott. He could go against Leo Rush. The thing is, he has guys over in NXT UK too, because he's going to be fighting back and forth. But presumably, I think he's going to be more featured at Full Sail, because you're going to try to get somebody like him on TV as much as they can. And you could even have, maybe Leo and them go over there sometimes. You could have A-Kid come over here. You could have,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of combinations you could have.
Absolutely. I noticed looking at the run card, not a lot of women's stuff outside the Charlotte and Rhea and Bianca stuff this week.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah, and Mercedes
Martinez had a match, but wasn't much really going into that. It was nice to see her wrestle, but
Well, I mean, I don't think that basically because she fought Casey Catanzaro, you're building up to Portland. I think that's really their focus. I'm not saying that's really excuse, but there was a lot that they had to get into with the card and kind of building up the card, and you'll presumably have 2 or 3, well, definitely 2 women's matches on NXT Portland's card. You're going to have Rhea versus Bianca, and then you're going to have Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox in a street fight. So, what NXT does, they alternate. They alternate a lot of storylines that they build up for takeovers. So, you'll see Dakota Kai and, Tegan Nox next week. And then last week you had 3 women's matches there. So, what I mean?
Yeah.
They do alternate.
Yeah.
So we had the Broserweights and Ciampa versus the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era were basically wreaking havoc all night.
I'm so mad that they put Kushida in the garbage bin, bro, or whatever that thing was.
Yeah, that and Bronson Reed got the knee, the knee from Roddy.
That was hilarious, because everybody's like, whoa, bro, whoa, big boy, we just want to ask what Ciampa is. And you see Roderick Strong in the back just loading up the knee. That was so crazy.
You got to keep your head on the swivel with the Undisputed Era, and if you don't see Roderick Strong there, he's he's most likely going to come out of the charging knee. He's doing the Sagat Tiger knee.
Right.
What'd you think about the main event? You mean Broserweights and Ciampa? How they work together?
Really great. Really amazing. Sneak previews for both of the matches that we're going to be having at Portland. If you did not think this match was going to end in a DQ of any sorts, you're a fool. Obviously, this is a 3-on-4 match, which I thought Regal was going to assign them a 4th partner. So, when I saw them just come as when I saw the Bruiserweights and Ciampa just come as themselves, I was just like, yeah, there's going to be a DQ or something. I was waiting for. I actually wasn't expecting Roddy to do the DQ. I was expecting somebody to help out the Bruiserweights and Ciampa to cause that DQ, but It was a fine little match. And then we got the big star
Yeah.
return.
So, speaking of Roderick Strong, it was hinted at last week in a brief little vignette, but the Velveteen Dream has returned to NXT. He's come with custom tights. Talking about
the greatest tights I've ever seen.
This is man. Let me tell you something. Whew.
Next level
Trolling here. I'm sorry, man. I'm just thinking about that. So they basically said, "Call me up, Marina." And didn't they have his kid on there too?
The family portrait with Roderick Strong's wife and child with Velveteen Dream. Like, that is so funny.
Wow. Amazing. He came back. Do you think that he's gonna have a match at Takeover against Roderick Strong, or are they gonna do it next week?
Not
off?
Portland.
No. I think that they're gonna save that for Mania.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Velveteen Dream is gonna, probably one man army, Undisputed Era. Like, I think Velveteen Dream coming in there, kind of cleaning house, is kind of telling to me that this thing is probably over. Like with having all the gold thing with the Undisputed Era. So, I think the prophecy is going to end. They might blame Velveteen Dream, or, they might just want to get the revenge anyway. So I think it might be a one-man army, Velveteen Dream versus Undisputed Era. So we might get a bunch of matches, like, if Undisputed Era doesn't get called up in October after Mania or something like that, like, we might even see Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole and stuff like that. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think that, thinking about it, like, you're definitely going to have Kyle O'Reilly and Fitch. They're going to lose. They're going to eventually lose the tag titles, and I think the last domino to fall is Adam Cole losing at WrestleMania. Velveteen Dream. I hated that he missed that whole invasion angle. I thought that, like, he would have been great, showing up on SmackDown and Raw. I would have loved that audience to see him, but it's great to see him back.
Him eliminating Orton would have been fire, bro.
So many combinations, you know what I mean? Like, see him at the Royal Rumble. I'm sad that he missed all that, but I'm happy that he's back for Mania build. So, like, really dope to see Velveteen Dream back.
Yeah.
So we are moving on to AEW, because I'm sure that there's some topics to talk about. Two things from Dark. The Nightmare Collective seemingly is over. Brandy has been having, like, these promos on Twitter where she's been going to psychiatrists and kind of, like, figuring out what's wrong with her. And there was a match with Sheeta and Mel on Dark, and afterwards Mel and Luther beat up Awesome Kong, and Awesome Kong is going to be out for the presumable future.
A write-off, clearly. She can't wrestle.
Yeah, it was hard to watch her, like, with this beat-up angle, because she, unfortunately, like, with injuries and everything, she moved really, really slow.
And when she did that slow, back fist to Ali on the pay-per-view, man.
So
it was over from there.
What do you feel about the Nightmare Collective presumably ending?
I'm glad it's over. Shout out to AEW listening to fans. Just even if the Nightmare Collective isn't over, I think them, presumably stopping it for the time being is extremely nice. I honestly don't even know how you continue the feud after Mel and Brandy lost that tag match in Miami. So I'm okay with it, more or less ending.
I'm actually going to give AOW a good on them because, like you said, like they actually listened to the fans because the fans pretty much gave Nightmare Collective no reaction when they came
Mm-hmm.
out. I don't know if it's over because what do you do with Mel and Luther, and
Mm-hmm.
like how do you end like how like with other than these like promos that Brandy's like kind of dropping on Twitter, like how do you put a definitive end to it? So I think that they have to wrap
Well,
up
how do
that
you,
little. They have to wrap up that little kind of thread there because otherwise, like it's
mhm.
like, oh, well, Brandy, Mel, and Luther aren't walking around anymore. So
Yeah, and like presumably it's just like how do you like really make this end and how do you make it start up again? Like Brandy just has another infatuation with another wrestler, and then they eventually lose to them in a tag match or something. Like I just don't get it. I think them just them pulling back on it. I think really nice, honestly. So if it's done, they can have Mel and Luther just walk around on their own. Like it doesn't really matter. But they don't have to be so. They don't have to be that prominent on TV anymore. So I think that's okay.
yeah, we'll go. We'll get to a little bit of Brandy at towards the end when we talk about the Cody and MJF segment.
Oh yeah, true.
So we also had an intergender match. We had Kip Sabian versus Penelope Ford versus Kenny Omega and Riho. This one was a little different because there was actually Riho versus Kip Sabian offense and Penelope and Kenny offense.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there was the men and the women were actually like wrestling each other. Kenny and Riho win, of course.
Yeah.
What do you think about this intergender match and possibilities of more intergender matches in AOW down in the future?
I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of intergender wrestling. I more or less don't really care. Um, I like if the match is good, the match is good, regardless if it's a male versus female. Like I know the difference to not actually go out there and hit women, like so that doesn't really bother me. I didn't know that. Now that you told me that, Penelope Ford versus Kenny Omega, like I would probably never see that in my lifetime, so I'll probably actually go check it out this week, and I'll probably see what else is on Dark. I don't really check out Dark as often as I should because usually it's just tag matches and rematches that we already seen. But yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
I, it was pretty good. It was fun for that Jericho Cruise crowd. I thought like it was
Mhm.
fun. I don't know if I really want to see Kenny and Kip Sabian fight again. Like this is kind of like a second or third time that they've done it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I don't know if the intergender thing should be a constant for them. If it's every once in a while, cool. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But for this instance, I thought it was all right. Like it was another good thing that kind of AEW did.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't have an issue with it.
Riho hitting Kip Sabian with the German suplex or the tiger.
I oh. Oh
Yeah.
shit! I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check out this match after this.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna go back to sleep.
So on the main show, you had Moxley beat up Ortiz and then spike him. Um,
Don't I don't like. I
uh,
do not like that. Oh my god! Inner circle outside of Sammy Guevara. They're just dweebs. Oh my god! How like like I would at least appreciate a DQ, you know. I don't like Moxley really beating up this established tag team for a really long time. Like I get that they did the story that Ortiz hasn't been in a singles match since 2016, which is insane. But nah, like how come Inner Circle didn't run up no trickery or anything like that? Like I like I wouldn't have Santana and Ortiz beat here, and they tried like they didn't even get that chance to get their heat back. Moxley's like unstoppable, so he spiked Santana while Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager basically watched. And oh my God, Jericho was unbearable on commentary. Jesus Christ.
So that kind of goes into my question. Do you think that Santana and Ortiz fits in the Inner Circle?
Like when they were first when they were first announced, everybody was like pretty excited to see Santana and Ortiz. Like we think they're one of the greatest tag teams that are not usually talked about. Outside of the Young Bucks, the Usos, and your New Days and stuff like that. And then you think AEW finally got something with this tag team here, and then all they do is just have them lose all the time. And they win. Like they won against the Bucks, and then the Bucks just nerfed them with the Rock and Roll Express, and they haven't been the same since. I think it's very poor usage of these guys. Like, yeah, they're in like the main title, like they're kind of around the main event scene, but like these guys need tag team gold. Like these guys aren't just teams that you just have beaten all the time.
I think that they were so hot coming from Impact that they've progressively cooled off now. I think that if you're going to have them in the Inner Circle, you definitely you should have put the tag team belts on them, because now it seems like because Moxley's going against Santana next week.
Like
Moxley, it's like Moxley's going to go through most of the Inner Circle before he gets to Jericho. I don't know if Hager's going to actually wrestle, but it's just that like Santana and Ortiz at this point, they just feel like kind of jobbers in the Inner Circle. cronies, like, you know what I mean, like even with having 5 guys the week before against Moxley, and then bringing 5 more guys, and then him like fighting them anyway. I know that you're supposed to build up Moxley to kind of be this big contender against Jericho, but like Santana Ortiz, just with all these tag teams that they have in AEW, Santana Ortiz like feels like they're not as important as they should be. They feel like they're at the bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm. Well, not even bottom of the barrel. They just feel like completely separate from the tag division. Like I believe Jim Ross or Excalibur says like they're number 4 on the rankings, but like that doesn't mean anything. That just means like I think they said they're 3rd in the rankings, and honestly that means nothing, because they're not even wrestling other tag teams to even rise up the rankings and eventually work for that tag titles. But they say in the SCU match that has the weird angle with Dark Order at the end that SCU will be given they will be granted a rematch.
Yeah.
So I was just like, they're going to be granted the rematch. Well, I'm just going to clock out of this match. Like,
well, I mean,
like win or lose here,
Well, I mean, it was said that like they do have the rematch stipulation, so like SCU was going to get a title shot then.
Okay.
I think that with that, the big angle was Dark Order. Like Dark Order kind of with the Orange Cassidy interaction, and then the whole like Chris Daniels thing. That's what it was for. Like, you know what I mean? Like Dark Order and Chris Daniels and them recruiting him.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. They could have did the Moxley build a little different without having to nerf Pride and Powerful.
So Britt Baker's heel turn continues. She fought Yuka Sakazawa.
Yeah, Sakazawa.
Yuka actually got the win. She got the cool, like in 3 minutes that she got the quick win, which I thought was cool because like I didn't want her, her to necessarily get nerfed. But she did after the match because
Hmm.
Britt basically had her
Well,
bleeding and put the mandible claw hold on her afterwards.
made
It
her
looks like
lose a
lose a
tooth.
tooth. Yeah.
Shoot, shoot.
I don't think it was a shoot. I think that it was. I think that was planned. I don't think that she would go in and try to like, all right, I'm gonna knock your tooth out. I think that was just kind of like maybe like a trick tooth or something like that.
Yeah. If you watch on the Fight TV version, Britt Baker has this unbearable promo about just the dental work of the people in Alabama. Just saying everybody has really garbage teeth, and she can repay her student loans with just the front row of people in the crowd. And I was like, man, this promo is really bad. And also, like, just because we're on commercial break doesn't mean we have to do promos, right? Hopefully Britt Baker could get her win back or some sort of win, because I don't think she should have lost to Yuka here. Like, Britt Baker should definitely be orbiting the title picture soon. So I think if Yuka's not going to be like around more often, I think this was kind of a not like I think this was a poor booking decision.
I think that like it was good to like continue this heel streak for Britt because if Riho beats Nyla Rose next week for the title, you got to have Britt right, as the big heel and eventually going to throne Riho. So if you're going to lean into it, just lean the hell into it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
have Britt kind of like get these wins and kind of like establish herself as the next big heel. I don't know about like the promo work, hit or miss.
It,
But
it made me laugh, but like at the same time, I was just like, there was no reason to really have this.
well,
Promo.
they're really leaning into the dental thing, so like maybe that's her way of kind of playing off of, as the dentist and with using like dentist terminology and whatnot. But like, um, you know, hopefully she gets more comfortable as as weeks go on, kind of like cutting those promos. But we'll see. Uh, we still have chaos within the elite. You had the elite, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers and the Butcher and Blade. The Lucha Brothers got a much needed win to me, but the thing about this match is Page not tagging in the Young Bucks, and them still not being on the same page. Then Kenny, still has pop problems, and then like I think in 2 weeks you're gonna have an Iron Man match between those two. So what do you think about the chaos between the elite?
I'm on the side of Hangman Page, man. Like once the Young Bucks are qualified for a championship match, they're gonna take it. So I don't think Kenny should be having them so close to his hip. Like, I get it, they're your boys, but like now that you're in the tag team division, for some unknown reason, just stick with your partner. Stick with your tag team partner, because that's the person that you're going to be having to rely on when the eventual match versus the Bucks happen. Like if you wanted to be a tag team with your boys so bad, you should have been tag teams with them and not Hangman Page, But I do like I do like the Hangman Page point of view in this feud. They just need to cut the drinking, like cut the beer stuff, Like I don't get it. Is this how they getting people to go to the? Is this how they getting people to spend money on food at the arenas?
Well, I mean, like they've been doing the whole like him spiraling for weeks now. You know what I mean? Like he had problems with Kenny, and he
Shit, I got a
still
problem.
kind of have problem with Kenny Omega. But you know, I like that this is a consistent storyline that AOW's kind of been building. Like maybe the drinking, like we've spoken like prior weeks before, but maybe the drinking is a little bit like much. But I guess that's him doing cowboy shit. But I like that it seems like the elite has been crumbling a little bit. I like that like they're kind of pairing off the whole thing. Like we'll get, you know, when we wrapped up the show and we talking about, you know, Cody and MJF, we'll get more to the elite. But I like the story. Like we've criticized AOW for not really having like kind of janky storytelling, and they're having good storytelling like devices here because you know you're gonna have Young Bucks and Kenny and Page down the road. You could also have Kenny versus Hangman Page as well, and you still have this Pac stuff, like this residual Pac stuff with Kenny. So like, it's good. It's a good branching storyline.
Yeah. There's a lot like going on just in like the story within the elite, and if it eventually dissolves in the summer or later this year in general, like that's gonna be something crazy.
Real quick, Kip Sabian, Joey Janela. Kip beats Joey Janela with a roll. Do you think this feud is over?
I hope so.
That's the quickest answer ever. Like it was like,
you did all this build up. Well, you do all this build up, and then you have this match finish with a roll up. Like I think I'm pretty much done. I don't even really know what this feud is really all about. So I'm just like,
because it plays off. It's playing off like the whole Joey, Penelope Ford ex-girlfriend thing.
Yeah,
the Kip, and you know what I mean. Like that's what the feud is about.
But Joey Janela has made it real clear that he doesn't want Penelope Ford back. So it's just like, what are they really fighting for?
I'm not sure how big. Jesus, I'm not sure how big that Revolution card is. If you want to run this at like in the pre-show, have at it. You know what I mean? Have at it. Do not put this on the main show. I think that. I don't think that this feud is over. I think that they'll continue to do it, but at the same time, I think with a 11-minute match that they've had on Dynamite, I think that I've seen enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like,
like, what more can you do?
This feud is like close to reality, and it's just like, but we really know the reality because they talk too much on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's just they were arguing about like stuff like Harry Potter and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, okay, all right, like, what more can you do?
Me and Penelope Ford in the same house. Like, oh, that's cool. We broke up, and I'm okay with that. So why are we fighting again? Like, it's really weird. Like, I think the fact that it's close to reality. People really dig it, and I'm just like, I personally don't. Like, I think it's too it's a little too close, and obviously, just talking so much on Twitter, it's just like, it just dissolved the feud in itself. Like, I think Kip Sabian is an amazing talent, and I don't think Joey Janela is that much of an amazing talent. So, I didn't think this match was going to mesh too well. And I honestly, I just think it's kind of like pointless,
I wanted to say the end of the
mid-card belts.
Yeah. I wanted to save our last segment for this particular thing. This week, Cody got his 10 lashes.
I'm gonna keep it real. I hope this is like top 5 worst segments of this year. Like so far, or like something, because like this is ridiculous.
We knew this was coming. I knew that it was going to be polarizing for many reasons. It's where do I begin? So the optics of I've seen people say that it's a whipping segment in Alabama during Black History Month.
Black History Month.
It's okay. I get that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's definitely a valid argument. Wait a second.
There's also one more optic that you forgot. A black woman offering to take the lashes.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm getting to that. I wanted to get those two out of the way first because people pointed to that. Cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew that was going to be an issue. If you know stories about Alabama and history, taking lashes. Okay. The melodramatics of this. Okay.
That's one word for it.
No, it was very telenova to me. Like it had you had Butcher and Blade come down. That's MJF's higher hands. Cool, right? You had Arn Anderson comes down, and he tries to fire up Cody to take the fourth and fifth whip. Okay, I have this written down. Then you had Dustin come down, right? And he's like, "I'll take the rest for you," and MJF's like, "No." Okay. Then you had MJF let Wardlow get a lash.
I like that. That was fire, bro.
Yeah, well, he gave him, that was like he got hit with a switch, but and Cody by I think the 8th lash is like crying. He's like trying to Ultimate Warrior himself up. Now, hold on. Now we'll get to the Brandy point real quick. Brandy comes down, and this ropes in right into the Nightmare Collective thing, right? And she's in regular clothes. Brandy comes down, and she says, "I would take these for you if I could." And then she pleads with him and says "You got one more. You got one more." And not to mention that the Bucks come down too. All right, I've heard people say Cody to them. Cody looks like a mega baby face here, and MJF looks like a shitty heel, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you think of this segment overall? Listen, man. I'll let you speak on this first. The Brandy thing got me.
As a black kid that grew up in a black household, I'm not gonna take this segment seriously. That's just how it is. When I saw that, I was watching NXT, and when I saw the GIF of Cody taking his 10 lashes and he collapsed during one, I was just like, all right, bro. When I was in 2nd grade, the belt ain't never dropped me, bro. So I don't know what you doing. Cody, this is a simple segment. On paper, it's just this is really something, and then just attach the Rhodes name to it, and you're gonna get all the theatrics, all the boo-hoo, and all just just the waterworks and everything. And that's just how how do people deal with like the over exaggeration of everything that Cody does? Like like all his matches, being these tear jerkers or like these really emotional, intense things. Like this
People
his stuff
love
don't
it.
move me.
People love it.
Yeah,
they're
and
AEW, like hardcore AEW fans. They
oh yeah,
love it. They love it.
well, I think I think this is the only thing that is your kind of like, well, react, please, emotions, like let's see the tears, like that's the only stuff that you're really getting in AEW and maybe even wrestling as well. So, but it's just like, just watch a soap opera or some shit. Like it's the same level of acting and theatrics and all that. Like, well, wrestling is a soap opera, but
Yeah, wrestling's basically a very elaborate physical play.
yeah. But I don't know, like just it doesn't mesh well with me. Of course, like I'm not taking this thing seriously, but I do understand like why, like how people do love it so much. Like, or like AEW, a lot of fans of AEW are already not hypercritical of the product, or not critical at all, don't criticize it at all. They take what's given to them, and that's one approach. But I don't know, this segment just seemed really like it's really funny to me, man. I think like the fact that everybody had to like come out and watch him get whipped, it was just like, are you for real? And people were saying like, why don't you feel sympathetic for Cody, blah blah blah, this and that. And it's just like, well, he kind of agreed to taking these 10 lashes, and I thought he would take it better than a third grader. So and maybe after Warlow does his whip, he could have like punched Warlow or something, like you have like some babyface fire.
I thought that was gonna happen.
I don't know.
I thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah. And it's just like, he didn't have to agree to the 10 lashes, he could have just beat up MJF all the time and not have the match. So
I think they were gonna have the match.
Yeah, of course they were gonna have the match, but it's just like, why don't you feel sympathetic? Like, a grown man accepting 10 lashes, that's kind of his own fault.
Yeah, it's just like real quick, just to kind of like end things. Like I looked at it from 2 points of view. Like I looked at it from like the ALW fan, like this works for them. Cody, any segment that he does, it's very 80s centric. It very tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
So like if it, like if you're looking for that and you're looking for the classic baby face where he can't punch MJF and he's just kind of like taking like the lashes and stuff like that. And of course you had the emotional things of like Arn, Brandy, the Young Bucks, and Dustin coming down and saying like, cheering him on and even offering to take the lashes. Well, for Brandy's case, that was a little weird, but like that worked for you. You know what I mean? Like that. Especially going against him and the Wardlow coming down the pike in the steel cage. Cool. You know what I mean? Like for me, I look at, even though ALW is starting to be a little bit more together, a little more connecting threads, I look at Cody segments as something different than the whole entire show. Like I'm like, oh, this is a Cody. Cody is essentially like booking this himself, and it's going to have a different feel to it. It's going to feel, kind of like his dad, and kind of like those classic, like, you remember those like 90s angles in WWE with kind of like Bret Hart and things like that. Like it's gonna be like that. So did it get it over as a mega babyface to me? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm already kind of sold on Cody being their big babyface already. I'm already sold on MJF being the big asshole for them. So like it just kind of like I get it. I see why everybody was kind of like who people who were raving for it, um, why they were raving for it. If people who didn't like it, I could definitely resonate with people who didn't. I'd see things, but it was just kind of like, all right, I'm kind of already sold on this feud.
Well, yeah, I'm already sold on the feud. I already just like want the match to happen already, so MJF and Cody could move on with their lives, hopefully. And it's just like the people that I see, raving, going crazy for it, are the same people that usually go crazy for anything that AEW does. So that doesn't really sway my opinion in any way. Um, like I do see. I do see both sides. Like I guess, like it is very different from everything else that is on the show. But when somebody in our chat said it's just the kiss my ass segment with belts and tears, like that's essentially what it was. I'm not really moved by anything Cody really does. I like I don't know. Like I think this segment is it's just like the 10 lashes was dumb from the start, but
Yeah, but they did. Like,
you kind of stack everything else on top of it, and
I think they tried to do the most with it. Yeah. That's our show for the week. Next week we come back and we do the NXT Portland takeover, our predictions. We'll talk more ALW, more in the trenches news. As always, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live. We have a bunch of dope stuff there this week. We have a new episode of the First Responders. They talk about Lil Wayne's new album Funeral, and depending on like if people liked it, if people didn't. Listened to a little bit of it. It's about 20 plus songs. I haven't listened to all of it yet.
20 plus songs.
Yeah.
Not today, Mr. Wayne.
We have a new RSPN. Of course, they were giving trade talk with all the craziness that happened yesterday and some all-star snubs. We have, of course, a new... So the A show, they talk about Ricochet and Lesnar. They talk about the dog food segment, and WWE with the recent stock market woes that has been happening. I know, like, the investor call happened yesterday, and a lot of people were down on it. We also have the Black Variant. Talk about Joaquin Phoenix, cleaning up the award season. Also, a little bit of Sebastian Stan walling on IG.
I heard what he said, and I was just like, "Whoa, bro! you want a job? You about to lose your shit."
We also have the Big Eyes podcast. They talk about My Hero Academia, and we also have a new account, the Lookout RNC. Talk about everything anime.
Oh, yeah.
So go follow that, please, if you can. Anything?
New episode of Spot Callers came out recently. Me and Justin talk about Kyoko Kimura's last Afro, Kyoko Kimura's retirement show, where she assembles a death squad of wrestlers for her and her family to fight before her retirement. And I think that is so very. I think that's hilarious. Like, I'm just gonna form this 6-man full of like the deadliest wrestlers I know for me, my husband, and my daughter to fight, and it's gonna be a grand old time. It's a really fun show. If you look hard enough on the internet, you can find it very easily, and just listen to the show. It was a lot of fun to do.
Yep. So we will see you back next week as we get ready for a really good, really exciting NXT Portland show. Come back soon.